I got fired from Walmart. Let's talk about it. First things first, they pulled me in to the office to fire me 20 minutes before my shift was about to end. I was literally sweating at this point. If I would have known that that was their plan the whole time, I would have not worked as hard that day, that's for sure. I got fired because my bosses lied to me. I came in on one of my days off to take a different day off. Manager said it would be fine. Something just came up. There was no problem at all. Got approval. Came back, fired a week later. Please don't mind the ice maker in the back. It's funny because I've done that before. I've switched my days off because something came up. And never had an issue. I know other associates who do that. Never been an issue. If you have a couple managers that might be out to get you, they may use that as a way to get you fired. So just keep that in mind if you plan on doing something like that. Biggest thing I learned, don't trust your manager. They swore up and down. I was like, do not let me down. Please, like, you're guaranteed, like, you're gonna clear the point for me. I'm not gonna get fired. They were like, nope, you're good. You'll be all good. She was not good. I think the most wild thing was when they pulled me into the office and they were explaining why I got fired. They just said it was my attendance. And then they were arguing with me in there, saying that they never told me I had approval. But both of those managers that pulled me in and fired me were not my managers. And they also weren't managers I asked to. Like, I didn't ask them for approval. I worked there for about 3.5 years. All I have to say, it does not matter how hard you work. If there is a manager that is out to get you, they will get you. Stay safe out there, Walmart employees.
So I got fired and it was dead ass wrong. So I'm gonna talk about it. I was out of town in Boston and I put my work group chat on Do Not Disturb, but the day before we left, I was like, you know what, I should just check it, see what's going on. I see someone has left the group chat and one of my bosses has removed someone from the group chat. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I text my coworker. She's like, yeah, sorry, I didn't want to text you while you were on vacation, but I got fired. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because there's only 4 employees. And she works a lot more than me. So I'm like, okay, I'm next. She's like, yeah, they made me work all day and then fired me at the very end of the day, which they had already done to one other person that they fired while I worked there. She's like, I don't want a business, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you fire someone. I text them and I'm like, hey, I saw the group chat. Is there something I need to be informed about? They say, we'll meet tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, in the morning, because you're not about to play in my face like that. Nope, got the wrong one. You are not gonna make me work all day. And they're like trying to ask me about my trip. Like, let's just cut to the chase. Like, I already talked to I know what's going on. When I said that I had already talked to they were like, oh, we really wish that she wouldn't have reached out. So you wanted to blindside me? You wanted to blindside me. Truly not even listening to what they're saying. I'm busy like trying to get my key off of my key ring to give it back. Like, I'm done. I'm out of here. We don't need to chat. Their reasoning was just that they want to restructure and it's not working. And I'm like pretty sure in order to restructure, you have to have a structure to begin with. Like, it wasn't working because anytime you asked us what things we should do to make things run smoother or make our lives easier, it would never be implemented. You can't change your expectations of your employees without telling them. Otherwise, how are they supposed to know? It's elementary school communication skills. Like, ding dong, we can't read your mind. You obviously thought about this for a while. I would have had a lot more respect for you, or any respect for you, if you would have just said that and gave us notice or time to change. Instead, you've just been pretending like everything's fine. Meanwhile, you know you're gonna fire us all in the back of your head. That's fucked up. We are not the reason why it's not working. Where your employees will do whatever you say, but instead, like, they're so focused on their other businesses when the first business isn't even running like a well-oiled machine. Perhaps that's why it's not working. They also had the audacity to say to keep this hush. Excuse me? I've never hushed a day in my life, and it's not gonna start today. So prepare to be sick of me because this is my job now.
Get ready with me to get fired from my job that I literally just started. Since the age of 15, I've had several jobs and I've never been fired, so I find this funny. Yesterday, at the end of my shift, my manager was like, hey, I need to talk to you. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're giving me so much anxiety. And then she pulls me far away from all of my coworkers. And I was like, okay, now you're really giving me anxiety. Am I getting fired? Like, I was laughing because I was like, there's no way. She pulled me aside to tell me that my face looked so miserable at work that she didn't think I was a good fit for the job. I didn't know what to say. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not miserable. Like, I have nothing against this job. I told her I knew I had a resting bitch face, but I didn't realize I looked that awful at work. I subconsciously have to remember to raise my eyebrows and make my face look pleasant and welcoming, because if not, I look like the meanest human being alive and I look like I have a raging attitude, when in actuality my face is just chillin'. For example, this is what I look like. Miserable, awful. Anyway, I guess we'll see if I get fired today for having a ugly face at work. It was just a minimum wage job, waiter job. I honestly don't really care if they fire me, like, it's not a big deal.
Okay, I have to get ready for work, but I really want to tell you guys a story about the time I almost got fired from my last job for sexual harassment. And it's so fucking from a girl. A girl accusing me of sexual harassment. Bitch. Go to hell. So back home in Maine, I worked at this tanning salon for a really long time. Like, I feel like I was like the poster child for this fucking salon. It's really embarrassing because I worked there for so long. But anyway, it was in Auburn. I worked at this salon, this tanning salon, and I became the assistant manager. And I was pretty young. Like, I was only like, what, 21 years old? And since this was a salon in Auburn, I knew pretty much everybody in the area, and I knew all the people that worked there. And it was literally, we were all just friends. Like, you know what I mean? We all partied together. We all had a good time. It was literally just like a hangout every day. That's how it felt. But we were just getting paid to hang out. But I will say that everybody looked the same, right? Like, my manager at the time, she was really good. She was really good at her job. I'm not gonna lie. Like, she was really good at sales, really good, like, good. She was just good with us all. Like, I loved her. We're still friends to this day. However, everybody she hired looked the same. Everybody was like white, blonde, skinny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody looked the same. And since we're entering this, what we call busy season, we were starting to hire things called bed tech. So a bed tech is somebody that just literally keeps up with the cleaning while the tanning consultant does like the actual interactions with the clients, sells the lotion, sells the memberships, helps the clients, etc. And the bed tech will just clean the beds and basically help the flow of the salon so that, you know what I mean? Because it gets really busy. Now, we had this client who, you had to be 18 to work there. We had this client. She was like a bigger girl, heavier set, not very cute, looked like she lived in a trailer park, which nothing wrong with that. I grew up in one when I was a kid, but like, you know what I mean? Like, she definitely fit the aesthetic. She kind of looked like there was incest in the family somewhere. But we all kind of liked her, you know what I mean? Like, we got her mom to sign up for a membership, got her to sign up for a membership, and bam, that's commission, right? But since she just turned 18, she really wanted to work there. She thought we were all cool. She always had a good time when she came in. Like, she would joke with us, key with us, whatever. So she had an interview. And my manager at the time was like, I don't really think I want to hire her. Like, she doesn't really fit the aesthetic. And I was like, that's fucking awful to say. You're a little bitch. But like, she was right, you know what I mean? But anyways, me being me, because I'm so fucking accepting and I love everyone, like, dead ass, I get along with everybody, I was like, we should hire her. I was like, hire her. I literally told her, I was like, I'm sick of everybody looking the same. I'm sick of everybody being a skinny, blonde bimbo. Like, can we please just have, like, this little chubby girl work here? Please, I'm begging. Because she might make me laugh the hardest out of all of you. She was like, you know what? Yeah, sure, whatever. We'll hire her as a bed tech because it's only seasonal. And if she doesn't work out, then it's fine because we just let her off. Like, she'll know that her job is coming to an end anyway when season is over. And I was like, lit. So we hire her because of me. I'm dead ass obsessed with this. So we're working with this girl, and I think she's a lot of fun. I think she's really cool. And I'm like, see, I knew you'd fit in. Like, I knew you'd be great. They weren't gonna fucking hire you. I didn't say that to her, but I was thinking it the whole time. But we're having a really good time. And she picks up this lotion that's on the shelf, and it's called Salacious, right? And she goes, what does this word even mean? Like, I really like this lotion, I think. Like, I like the smell. What does it mean? And I was like, oh, salacious is a weird word. It literally means slut. I googled it like 3 days ago. And she was like, what? And she started laughing. And I was like, yeah, it literally means slut. Like, isn't that so stupid? And I was like, and I think that lotion worked really well for you. And she's like, are you calling me a slut? And I was like, no, for your skin type, bitch. Like, what the fuck? And she goes, oh, okay. Blending makeup into a beard, yo, is the most annoying fucking thing on the planet. Like, you bitches are mad lucky that you don't grow beard. Well, some of you do. So we never thought of this. I never thought of this interaction again, right? Like, I was like, everything's cool. Like, I never thought of this again. However, a couple of days later, I get a call from my district manager and my salon manager, and they're like, we need to talk about something. And I was like, what? They're like, you know Kaylee? I was like, yeah, the big girl that I hired, absolutely love her. And they're like, well, she doesn't love you because she just sent the district manager, me, a email stating that you sexually harassed her. You called her a slut, and she said that your pants are excessively tight and she can see your bulge, and she doesn't like that. It makes her uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable that I'm wearing skinny jeans? And bitch, you asked me what that word meant? Fuck you. Also, I know you don't see no fucking bulge because in middle school they started a rumor. They started a rumor that I duct tape because nobody ever saw that I had a. So fuck you, you lying ass bitch. Now you're coming after my tuck? Oh, we got problems. All my friends, these are all my friends that I work with, mind you. All my friends had to send emails to my district manager saying, yeah, Trayvon's never made me uncomfortable. I don't know, like, I wasn't there for this interaction. Like, I don't know what this girl's talking about, blah, blah, blah. Like, they all had to do that. You know how fucking embarrassing that is? Then we caught on that she really was just trying to get everybody in trouble, because then my other friend came to run the salon for a little bit, from a different salon, and again, have been friends with this girl for a really long time. She ends up working with this Kaylee girl, right? When she works with this Kaylee girl, sorry, my friend's name is Katie, the one that she was working with, but when she worked with this Kaylee girl, Katie, my friend Katie, the other salon manager, ends up getting an email as well. Kaylee complained and said that she was out of dress code. She was like, oh, yeah, Katie came in and she was out of dress code. She was in pink pants. Mind you, a salon manager at that salon I worked at, they can wear whatever the fuck they want. She's allowed to wear pink pants. This girl has no idea. She just wanted to get somebody else in trouble. And then what's even funnier and crazier and just even more fun about all of this is that my district manager, she actually went to school to be a private investigator. So she was like looking into this Kaylee girl. Like, I'm not lying. I'm still friends with this district manager. Like, I love her down. She's funny as fuck. But she went to school to be a private investigator, and she was like creepy on this girl, like doing everything she can to try to dig up dirt on her, basically, to try to find out like who the fuck is this bitch and why is she trying to get everybody fired and everybody in trouble. She finds out that this girl, this Kaylee girl, what her boyfriend, who was currently working at Walmart, was trying to sue Walmart for no fucking reason. For no reason. Like, we still don't even understand like what the whole issue was, but like something about he got hurt at work or something, but he wasn't actually hurt. Like, it was all a fucking lie, because apparently that's just how these people roll. These little trailer park bitches, apparently they do this a lot, and they were just trying to basically like get money from companies. Like, do you know what I mean? So that they don't have to work. Like, they're trying to sue what? I didn't know people like that really existed. I mean, like, sure, I knew that people were fucking shifty and shady and weird, but like not in fucking Auburn, Maine, and like an 18-year-old girl with her fucking mother with missing teeth. Like, fuck you. You guys are fucking weird. So I end up not being able to get scheduled with this girl, which thank God, because if I was, I probably would have snapped on her. Like, I was like, it's a good thing you guys aren't scheduling me with her, because I really wouldn't be able to control myself. Like, I don't care if I'm a manager. Like, I'll lose my job for this shit. I don't care. I'll fight her. You're lying on my name. Like, that can like tarnish my whole reputation. You know what I mean? Like, you're fucking weird. All because you are a little bit homophobic, clearly. Like, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm pretty sure I went to her page and she's a Trumpy too these days, so. And she's even bigger. And I'm not even one to fat shame, only if you piss me off. Like, when you do me wrong, the first thing I'm gonna say if you're big is you're big. Like, if you're big and you try to hurt my feelings, that's literally the first thing I'm gonna say to you. You're big. As fuck. Like, what? Bigums. Like, fuck you. So thankfully we end up letting this girl go, like, obviously because her position comes to an end and we don't have to deal with her anymore, but she was trying her hardest, I'm not joking, to get everybody in trouble, and it got to the point where like it changed the whole vibe of the salon, because like nobody wanted to like talk, nobody wanted to do anything, everybody was scared that they were gonna get in trouble, because it's a fucking tanning salon. Of course we break rules, of course we like say stupid shit, we're like a little family here, we're not professionals. It's a fucking tanning salon. We come here to sell lotion and lie to people and say, yes, I use this all the time with this most expensive bed. What? We all party together on the weekends. And then here comes fucking Biggie ruining the vibe, all because of me, because I wanted to be inclusive and nice and kind. What? I was never nice to a big girl again after that. Okay, now I really am being a little bit fatphobic. I need to shut the fuck up, because that girl really pissed me off. But yeah, that's my story. Thank you for listening. That's the time I almost lost my job for sexual harassment. I'm a girl. Like, what? It's so stupid. It makes me so mad thinking about it still to this day. This was years ago. Years and years and years ago. But I hope she's doing really bad in life, and I'm pretty sure she doesn't even talk to her mom anymore. Oh, also, I didn't even mention this. That bitch used to be in the salon talking about how her mom, she was pretty sure her mom wanted to fuck her boyfriend. They all lived together in like this trailer thing. Also found out that her mom, pretty much stole the house that they're living in, cheated on her husband, and then, which is his house that he paid off, basically stole that house from him. Like, all this shit, all this weird shit. This girl like is giving us all her tea, but then is complaining because my pants are too tight and it makes you uncomfortable. Because I told you that the word salacious means slut. You just told me that your mom wants to fuck your man. Okay. Yeah, bitches are mad weird. Bitches are mad fucking weird. And me, I'm fucking beautiful. And I'm thriving. I hope she's doing terrible. Bye.
I got fired after just 1 week of working. So I decided to use my special interests, the skills that I have of garment construction, to find a job in alterations. So I did it super old school. I just called a bunch of alteration shops and stopped by and gave them my card and my resume. After the first day of doing this, I got a job. And in this job, they asked me if I knew how to do very simple alterations, and I said yes. But the thing is, I am a self-taught designer, which I told them, so I know how to do alterations my way, not the proper way. And they said this was just fine. I even brought an item that I made, and they were like, wow, you made this? Like, this is so good. And this particular alteration shop was looking for a seamstress, so that's why I got the job quickly. So I come in for my first day, and they're teaching me how to do alterations their way. First, the trainer was like, show me how you do it your way, and then I'll let you know if that's how we like it. So that's exactly what I did. I did the alterations the way I knew how to do it. And if she didn't like it, she just corrected me and showed me how to do it the way that the shop does. Okay, so boom, now I'm learning how to do proper alterations. They are training me at this point. And when you get any job, it's obvious that you have to train the new person that is in if you want the job done the way that you like it. I was only working at the alteration shops 2 days a week. After my first week, I got a call at 9:30 telling me not to come in the following week. When I got this call, I was honestly so confused because I'm like, why are you letting me go? You literally taught me how to do the alterations and I know how to do them now. And now you're letting me go. I feel like that's a waste of money. And then the trainee was just like, oh, you're just not fast enough. And then we also have to teach you. And then the owners feel like they wasted $500 on you. I was super passionate and devoted to the job even after a week because I love making clothes and clothes is my special interest. So I loved being at the shop. This is the same place where the owner was talking about how people don't want to work for the passion of the work. They just want to work for money. And then they basically said they wasted $500 on me trying to train me in 1 week, which I already got the training. So I went back to the alteration shop to get my final check. And I was like, let me vouch for myself and just prove to them that I really enjoyed the job and it was a good experience for me to have. When I got to the alteration shop, I kid you not, I told the lady I enjoyed working here and thank you for giving me the chance. And she straight up started screaming at me. She started calling me a liar. She said that I didn't know how to sew. She said that I didn't even know simple things about sewing or simple things about alterations, which was simply not true. She was like, oh, I wasted all this money on you and we wasted all this time. It was disrespectful that you did that. And she felt like that I bamboozled them. I just thought it was extremely odd for you to hire someone and then have to train them to do the work how you want it to be done and then get mad at me because I had to get trained. I don't understand where the animosity came from or the anger came from. I tried to hold my tears back because I didn't want to cry in front of her. She was screaming at me in front of everyone. Once I got to my car, that's when the tears started flowing. They started flowing. I just didn't know what to do. I just felt so sad that this situation ended this way because I truly enjoyed the job. Employers can be so rude and so disrespectful, and they act like the people that they're hiring are not human and they don't have emotions. Because why on earth are you screaming at me over alterations? Alterations, for God's sakes.
Get ready with me while I tell you why I got fired. Fired an hour ago. Literally an hour ago. So basically on Sunday, me and my coworker were working with each other and I worked at a restaurant. And at this restaurant, I would put to-go orders together and basically be where people pick up their food. At my work in the afternoon, a girl comes in at 4 and then the next girl comes in at 5. Basically, my shift was scheduled for at 5 o'clock and my lovely coworker was scheduled for 4 o'clock. I pull into the lot and I see my coworker who was scheduled for 4 o'clock. Basically, I give my coworker a little honk, not thinking that she was late. Anyway, she goes, oh my God, Jalissa, you're supposed to be here at 4. I'm like, no, I wasn't. Basically, we both check our shifts in the parking lot and she was an hour late for work. Anyways, we go inside. She apologizes to the manager that night. He's literally fine with it. He's smiling at her, saying it's fine. Anyways, the night goes on. We continue on with our shift. And basically, we just had a meeting, like, all of our coworkers and the managers. And they talked to us about, like, being on our phones and stuff and, like, how we're not supposed to be on them and how we shouldn't have them out and being late, da-da-da-da. It's dead up and counter. There's nothing going on. No one's picking up their orders or anything. Basically, there's no one there, right? I have my phone out. It's literally in front of me like this, behind the computer, and no one was there. I wasn't even on it. I was kind of just like looking at it. The manager that night has caught me on my phone many times in the past, and he pops up out of nowhere, sees my phone, and goes, it's super upset at me. Basically, I'm like, no, like, I wasn't on my phone. And then I called him the wrong name. But that's not all. He gets super mad. He leaves. Right before my coworker leaves to go home, she puts in some food. We have the manager's card, which can access discounts and all of that, right? Something came over us. We decided to give both of us 100% discount. We decided to comp our food all the way. Anyways, my coworker has a card. She fully comps her food and then comps mine. And I was like, no, like, don't do mine. It's only like $9, you know, and I don't want to get in trouble. She goes, I'm not doing this alone. Comps my food. We start to freak the fuck out because we close the order. We can't open it again unless a manager does it, and we don't know how. We go home. The next day, which was yesterday, one of our managers text us both, and they're like, can you come in tomorrow at whatever. Today, we both met up in the parking lot at 4 and then went in together. We both thought it would be about us completely comping our orders and making it free. It was not about that. It wasn't even close. Sit down with both of our managers. We're gonna call one of them Jessica and the other one Christina. Jessica starts off the conversation by saying, so Sunday night when you guys were both working, a customer overheard you guys having a conversation. And the amount of relief that we had knowing that it wasn't about the orders that we comped gives us a little look as if we're supposed to know what she's talking about. And she goes, do you know what I'm talking about? And we're like, no. She goes, the conversation that you guys were having was very, very inappropriate. And we're like, what? Worker also overheard it, saying me and my coworker were talking about being fucked in the ass. Like, what? And we kind of looked at her. We were like, what? Like, what are you even talking about right now? And like, we both looked at each other and we're like, and she was like, do you guys know what I'm talking about? And we're like, no. And she asked us again. She goes, do you know what I'm talking about? And we're like, no. And she's like, well, did you guys have any conversations that could be interpreted like that? Because isn't that strange that you guys are saying that you guys didn't talk about that, but a customer and a coworker said that they heard you talking about that? And I was like, yeah, that is really weird because we never talked about that. Anyways, they obviously didn't believe us, which I wouldn't really expect them to, because if two people are saying that they heard it, then you know what I mean? Like, what? She starts going on by saying, well, like, were you talking about your boyfriends? Like, what were you talking about? And we're like, I mean, yeah, like, we did talk about our boyfriends a little bit, but we weren't talking about our sex lives. And I was kind of just like, what the fuck? You know, like, what? But I was kind of just like, bro, no way I'm about to get in trouble for something that I didn't even do. They tell the both of us that they want to talk to us individually. So I go downstairs while they talk to my coworker, and then she comes back down. She goes, oh my God, they didn't fire me. And I'm like, oh, that's so good. Like, that's so good. Like, they're probably not going to fire me, right? I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong. I go upstairs. I start talking to them. The first thing that my manager, Christina, says as I sit down is, you know, this was a very hard decision for us to make. I literally knew then and there, okay, they're going to fire me, but they're not going to fire her, right? Anyway, she starts talking to me. She goes, you know, it's just, you know, the first incident and then now this. And I go, this as in being on my phone? Because I didn't say anything, so why would I get fired over a false accusation? And the first thing that she said that she was like referring to, that's for another time. That was a whole other situation. Basically, they fired me then and there. They handed me my last paycheck and had me sign whatever paper. I'm not really sad about it. I'm more just annoyed. But yeah, that's it. Bye, guys.
I got fired from my dolphin boat job, so let's talk about it. I have promoted them on my social since the day I started working for them, but now it's time for me to de-influence you from going on their boat because of how they treat their employees. So my friend who got me the job actually got fired. You want to know how she got fired? They literally deactivated her Fair Harbor account because she was talking crap about one of the head honchos, which we all have because he is one of those guys that likes to mansplain to you how to do your job that you've been doing for 7+ years. So anyways, they deactivate her account and don't have a conversation with her. Literally nothing. She can't log into her Fair Harbor. Fair Harbor is the platform that we use to see like if we're working that day. So that was the first red flag where I was like, wow, that's very unprofessional. The next thing, they decide to cut all the photographers' pay by $20, which might not sound like a lot, but when you're working 4 days a week, it adds up. Not to mention my GoPro has broken on their boat and my camera lens has to be replaced because of all the water that's splashing on my camera, which it's my gear, like I knew what I was signing up for, but for them to deduct our pay by $20 just kind of felt like a slap in the face. All of us photographers are in a group message and we're like, hey, like, how do y'all feel about this? And we're all kind of like agreeing like, yeah, this is kind of like a slap in the face. We don't like it. Should we set up a meeting to like talk about this? Maybe we could start making more off of the photo packages or just like come to some kind of common ground. So me being the vocal person that I am and sticking up for what I know I deserve, I politely asked if we could have a meeting and like set up a time to talk about potentially like raising our rates. And literally 4 hours later got a text that says we'll no longer be needing your photography services. And I was like, that's weird because I literally asked for a meeting. And she has the audacity to say that this job is all about teamwork and positive energy. Oh, okay, yeah, let's go there. So teamwork. I do not make commission off upselling wetsuits, but the crew does, so I upsell the wetsuits for them. Okay, that's teamwork right there. Second, you want to talk about positive energy? I am the most positive and upbeat person on that boat, and I have like 7 to 8 people who will vouch for me. Literally, my captain on multiple occasions has asked me if I'm on crack cocaine today, and I'm like, no, I'm literally just high on life, bro. Like, are you not? Like, we're swimming with dolphins. I was like, okay, you guys are literally just a bag of bullshit because you're gonna have to come up with a better excuse. So then I basically defend myself and I was like, yeah, I know that's not true. And then she was like, I didn't make the call. And I was like, okay, well, who do I need to talk to figure out why I got fired? And then she didn't respond to me. Oh, not to mention they also owe me like $900. So still trying to get that. I don't want this video to be 1.5 years long, so go to part 2. It's already up. This is the part 2 of me getting fired from my dolphin boat job. If you haven't watched part 1, go watch it because you might be a little confused. And legally, like, yeah, they don't have to tell me why they fired me, but I just think they just should. Okay, I think it's rude if you don't communicate why you're letting someone go. My main point of making this video is because I know a lot of you guys have asked me what company I work for, and a lot of you guys have been like, oh my gosh, we're gonna book in June, we'll be there in June. Or like, OMG, we're coming in 2 weeks, I'm booking tomorrow. Yeah, well, this is your sign to not book with them, because if they're treating their employees like this and like not having communication with them as to why they're being let go, I just think that's so unprofessional and rude. And then they had the audacity to say, can we mail your check? No, you're actually gonna see me in person, and then I'm gonna ask you in person why you fired me. Like, we have to come up with a better lie. And not to mention, they've already used that excuse with another photographer. They called him aside and was like, yeah, your performance is just like really low and like your energy. And he's like one of the most upbeat, positive persons I know. He's one of the most upbeat, positive people I know. So anyways, I asked if I could come get my checks tomorrow. Hopefully they say yes. I told them that I was on my way to go pick up my last checks. She said, okay, great. Your check will be at the front desk at the hotel. Let me know when you get here and maybe I can come meet you. Maybe? Okay, anyways, she didn't answer her phone. We love that. The check says, I can't. Sorry it didn't work out, sad face. Wishing you happiness and success. That's so sweet. Thank you. They also gave me a Christmas card. I guess it's better late than never. I haven't read it yet, so let's find out what it says. Look forward to 2025 to making more customers. No, this is a joke. This is a joke. What? Dear Kirsten, thank you so much for your hard work. We really appreciate your beautiful photos. Make a lot of people experience special lifetime memories. I'm confused. I don't think I've ever been more confused in my entire life, actually. Just to show you guys that I'm not even bullshitting you, like here it is. I know they were just trying to be sweet by giving me my Christmas card, but honestly, that's like more of a slap in the face. Expect to have more customers in 2025, and then beginning of 2025, you fire me for no reason. I can't stop laughing. This is so funny. Anyways, at least I got my final checks. Thank you guys for watching this madness unfold.
Bye.
Anytime I'm feeling like super confident about myself, I remember that I got fired from the cafe I worked at in college that paid me $7 an hour, and I figured out a way to get fired. First of all, learning the drinks and having them all memorized, that felt a little bit like homework to me. And remember, we were getting paid $7 an hour, so am I gonna do homework for a $7 an hour job? Absolutely not. No, I'm not. If you were ordering the same drink from me 2 days in a row, you're getting 2 completely different food groups. It was a mystery what ingredients that I was using on these drinks. And I was never allowed to work alone because people knew I was just not good at my job, and that was just a given, obviously. One day by mistake, one of the new managers didn't know me yet, so she asked me to train 2 new employees. Biggest mistake of her life. I was like, Stacey, they don't even let me behind the counter by myself. Are you sure? I didn't say that part to her. I said, oh my God, yeah, I've been waiting for this day my entire life. Give me the new employees. At this point, by the way, I already have 2 strikes. So if I get one more strike, I'm fired. So I'm looking at she hands me these 2 new employees, and it's their first day, and she goes in the back, and I'm like, look at me. You better not mess this up, because it's my job on the line right now. And I need these $7, because that's like 3 lemon drop shots. So I'm teaching these people how to make drinks the way I make drinks, which is just basically like a remix of the real recipe written by me. I'm thinking it's going pretty well until the first drink that goes out, someone complains. First drink. He comes up to me and he was like, excuse me, is there a reason that my drink is spicy? And I was like, spicy? Spicy's not even a flavor that we have. What did you order? And he was like, a macchiato. And I was like, a macchiato? That's a you problem. What is a macchiato? Why would you order that? Get out of my cafe. I'm so sick of you. I'm serious. So that was the first time someone reported the drinks being spicy. This kept happening the entire night. And to every customer, I was like, I'm so sorry. We have these 2 new hires. They don't know anything. They know nothing. So I kept having to refund people's drinks because I couldn't figure out what was spicy about all of these. Every drink was spicy. I was like, you 2 are ridiculous. I thought I was bad. It seems like no one wants to work these days. Get it together. The next day at work, the real manager was like, Becca, after you left last night, the new hires were putting sugar-free peppermint in every vanilla latte that they made. And I was like, sugar-free pep? They sound terrible, terrible. Do you fire them? Should have. That's also when I remembered that the sugar-free peppermint is the same color as the vanilla bottle. Turns out I had taught the new hires that the peppermint bottle was the vanilla, so they were putting that in every single drink. But who has 2 flavors be the same color? And since when is spicy bad? I like spicy things. I'd like a spicy latte. So yeah.
So I was fired today and wanted to come on because I feel like, number one, this happens to a lot of people, and I was really blindsided by it. The reason I wanted to come on, number one, is because I feel like this happens to a lot of people, and it's like shocking and a lot to process. You know, you work for a company with people for a long time, and then to like just get a Zoom, or like, this was like a random meeting put on my calendar, and it only showed like my manager on it. I didn't know like the HR person was gonna be on too, and then they just like said it very kind of coldly and then they just read out like the severance stuff and just said like, you know, it's your last day, effective immediately, and then just like log off, and you're just kind of like, what is happening? And I think the problem for me is, so they said it was because of a conflict of interest, and essentially at the start of the year, my husband, who worked at the same company as me at the time, he quit because he didn't, you know, he wanted to pursue other things. And at the time, I remember them being really pissed about it because my husband is really good at his job. He's really good at sales, and they just kind of lost this really great salesperson. So they were blindsided by him leaving. And then one day randomly, my manager called me. It was like, you know, how's it going? You know, normal conversation. And then he
goes onto, like, completely blindsides me, and he's like, so where's Tanner going? And I'm like, I don't know, like, he's just figuring out what he wants to do. We have a couple real rental properties, and I was like, he's gonna work on, like, managing them, and yeah, like, I don't know, that was, like, it. I just said doesn't know what he wants to do yet. He just wants to change, like, what he's doing. And then he's like, well, you know, if he ever works at one of our competitors, then that's good, and you guys live in the same household, that's gonna be a real problem. And I'm like, okay. It was just a really uncomfortable situation, and I felt like my job was being threatened at the time. So I get off the call, tell Tanner about it, and he's like, what the fuck? He didn't have, you know, the balls to ask me directly about what I'm doing, like, no questions about it to him when they had a conversation on the phone. But he'll go to my wife and try to get information out of her. So that just set him off. So we reported that to HR, had a conversation about it, and yeah, I mean, it was fine, moved on. I, like, reviewed the handbook and everything, and it didn't say anything about, like, you know, family or spouse working at another company. So flash forward to, like, April, May, and Tanner came out on LinkedIn and said he's working at this adjacent company now, and I'm guessing that's what set them off, because I got let go because of a conflict of interest. And it's because my husband works at a competitor company. My husband, not even me. And I'm just trying to process this. So, like, I went back to the handbook, and they added that your family cannot work at a competitor. Your family cannot work at a competitor. What?
So I just got fired from my new job after just 3 days of working there. I honestly didn't want to share this because I felt so ashamed by everything that happened, and I practically only told, like, my parents and maybe 2 people in my life. Like, I kept it hush-hush. But the few people that I did speak to about this said how it was a very effed situation on the clinic's end, and it would be important to shed light onto this. So long story short, I had this new position at this clinic. I was super excited. The pay was okay. Right off the bat, I kind of noticed a lot of red flags with this place, but I was trying to give, like, the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, this is just, like, a new working environment. Like, we're still trying to, like, reorganize and restructure. But there were just, like, so many things that told me to run, like the employee turnover rate, the anxiety attacks that my coworkers would get. My coworkers would literally, like, cry in their cars on their lunch breaks. Like, one of the days we had just opened and my coworker was literally shaking with anxiety, and because she was fearful of our boss. So, like, just not good vibes in that type of environment, you feel? And, like, I was the one that was kind of telling everybody, like, just give yourselves grace. Like, it's only, like, the first week. Like, we're gonna be fine. We just gotta work out the kinks. Yeah, bitch, I was wrong. It literally took one and only interaction with my boss to learn that I was not gonna be able to grow. I was not gonna be able to learn. And I was not gonna be able to think outside of the box with my creative skills. And I was working social media and marketing for this place. So creativity is very integral with my position. Basically, I was being paid to just use templates, stock images, and some really ugly ass fonts. And look, the pay was not terrible, so I mean, if you want to pay me to do that, then great, fine, whatever. What I will not stand for is disrespect. I'm not going to go into all the details of the conversation that I had with my boss, but I will mention that I tried to respectfully request for me to go outside and take a breather because I was literally stressed out and I wasn't going to keep myself in a situation where I was being talked down upon, so I wanted to go outside to take a breather for a quick second. I told her that I would be back. She insisted on wanting to speak. I insisted on wanting to keep that boundary. And that's whenever my boss did this to me. Not once, but twice. And in that moment, I had to remind a grown-ass adult that I am too a grown-ass adult. Now, I totally understand that you can't really avoid conflict in a working environment and you're not always gonna see eye to eye with your boss. Like, that's definitely gonna be normal. But to literally do this to a grown-ass adult while they're trying to express their feelings or set boundaries, that's fucking disrespectful. Then after that moment, I was told that I was not going to be a good fit, it wasn't going to work out, and I honestly took that as a blessing in disguise. No matter what job you're in, no matter how much somebody is paying you, as an employee, you do not deserve to be placed in a situation where you are constantly being disrespected, talked down upon, and shushed. Anyways, I have been applying for many jobs after that whole ordeal happened, and I'm not gonna lie, this whole situation has placed me in a very financially and mentally stressful situation. I found myself in a really dark place yesterday, kind of beating myself up, kind of telling myself that I literally just hit rock bottom, I didn't have a job, my finances are basically shit. I felt like I didn't really have anybody to talk to, so of course I felt isolated, and of course I felt literally have nothing going for me anymore. I allowed myself to feel, I allowed myself to cry it all out and to have a pity party and woe is me. And then the entire day today, I kind of just spent it just going ham with job applications. So the moral of the story is, when one door closes, another door is going to open. I don't know when, I don't know how, but it will. And when God removes, it is literally going to be the biggest blessing in disguise, which it may not look like that now, but trust me, it will.
I literally just got fired from my job after going up to this table and asking them for a drink order. No one answers me, so I think they need another minute. I go to walk away. This woman's like, hello? I barely even turn around thinking that it's for me. This woman's like, is anyone gonna come over and help us? So I look at her, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, I came over. I thought you needed another minute. She literally goes, what? No one came over to help us. So I'm not gonna start a fight with her. I'm just like, okay, can I get you guys something to drink? The little boy's like, can I get a chocolate milk? The dad screams in his face, what did we tell you about asking first? Like, what was he doing? He's like, how much for that chocolate milk? I'm like, $4.95. He's like, that is highway robbery. We could get a entire gallon at the supermarket. No, you may not get it. The kid starts bawling his eyes out. So now I have to get the food and drink order while they're profusely crying. So they order a large pepperoni pizza, at which I tell them it's going to be about 45 minutes with how busy it is. He's like, it better not be. I'm like, it's going to be 45 minutes. Every 10 minutes, they're like, where's our food? I'm like, guys, a little bit longer. We told you 45 minutes. They're like, it better not be. I'm like, we've already had the discussion. It's gonna be 45 minutes. So a food runner comes back, literally on the verge of tears, and she's like, that man said that he wasn't supposed to have mustard on his sandwich. Meanwhile, he asked me for extra. So I go out there and I'm like, sir, I'm sorry, but I have it written down that you asked for extra mustard. The wife turns to me, she's like, are you telling my husband that he didn't know what he wanted to order? I look at her, I'm like, ma'am, no, but I had to ask if you wanted mustard, and it says extra. Why would I have written that? This man stares me in my eyes. He's like, the customer is always right. I was so done. I'm like, sir, the customer is always right in case of taste, not when you literally order the sandwich wrong. So this man's sitting cross-armed like, I need to speak to your manager. My manager goes out there. He literally tells them that I was screaming at them and I purposely put their food in wrong because they didn't notice me when I came over for a drink order. So you did know that I came over for a drink order. She comes back there, and I literally got fired because she said this isn't the first time that she's had a similar complaint about me, and now I'm gonna have to look for a new job.
I got fired from my job yesterday. This is day 2, and yesterday I pretty much just stayed inside, and I cried, and I was just in shock. Today I'm doing a lot better, and I applied for a few graphic design jobs, and yeah, I've just been applying a little bit, and I thought maybe if I kind of documented this process on TikTok that it would make me feel better and I could look back on it. But yeah, I moved to Tampa, Florida about 2-ish months ago. Started working as a social media manager for a startup company, and for a lot of different reasons, including the Hurricane Milton, I lost my job yesterday. I took like a huge leap, and I used to live in Chicago. I quit my job that I really liked because I really wanted to move to Tampa, and it's just been a really long and hard process because I like really took a risk and moved out here and finally got a job and was feeling like comfortable, and now I'm kind of back at square one. So that's really upsetting and hard, but I have hope that a better opportunity and a better job is gonna come my way, and that this job just like wasn't for me, and like there's something better coming. I know that TikTok has powerful ways of making opportunities work, so if anybody on TikTok knows about any like graphic design jobs or social media manager jobs, let me know because I need it.
Hello, get ready with me for work while I tell you guys some of the reasons I am at risk of losing my job. So basically my job description is front end, so I can do anything. Like I can be a cashier, I can assist for the cashiers, I can check receipts at the door, I can fold clothes, I can be on the floor, I can do anything. But about 6 months ago, they realized I'm pretty fast at cashiering, so they offered me a position to just be a cashier, and you do get $1 extra. So now that I'm making the cashier pay, I do have to be behind the register for usually 8 hours a day, sometimes 5, but mostly 8. It seems like a good enough deal to me because I'd be getting off earlier, I'd be getting that extra $1, but girl, let me tell you, I did not realize how stressful being a cashier can be. Like, those freaking receipt checkers at the door be my biggest ops. A lot of like customers think we're like trying to stop them from stealing, but really they're trying to catch the cashier for making a mistake. Making a mistake being overcharging an item, undercharging an item, double scanning, or missing an item. So you're only allowed 3 mess ups in a 7-day period, and honestly I think that's kind of ridiculous because you're behind the counter 5 days a week for 8 hours. And I know what you guys are thinking, just don't mess up. But it's way easier said than done, trust me. And keep in mind, in that 7-day period, you're only allowed a $100 limit to your mess up. Let me explain. So you know how you're allowed to miss 3 things or whatever? Say you miss 1 and that item leads up to over $100, it's automatically a write-up and you're already over your limit for the week. I'm gonna blow dry my hair and tell you guys how I messed up so badly. Any freaking ways, I kept messing up behind the register, and you are allowed to have 4 write-ups before suspension. Anyways, I had 2 write-ups on my file already because I kept messing up behind the register. One week I got like 4 audits, the next week I got maybe like 5. So I was like, okay, no more freaking audits. I'm literally stressing behind this fucking register. Like, do not mess up anymore. So I was being really careful behind the register. These hoops are in my Amazon storefront, by the way. But my next mess up, okay, was not because of like missed scans or whatever. Anyways, so the mistake I made next was really freaking stupid. So basically a customer gave me $30 and I typed in the cash amount as $300, and for some reason I did not catch myself. I don't know what was going on that day, but I literally gave her the full like 200 whatever the change was in cash. Whatever, I take full responsibility for that stupid mistake I made, but wow, that customer is pretty freaking evil to literally know that they gave me only $30 and you're leaving with over 200 in your hands. We did contact the member and ask them to give the money back, but usually in those cases they don't really give it back because, you know, it already says something about their character if they were to take the money in the first place. But anyways, my manager talked to me about it. For some reason they gave me another chance. They wanted me to continue cashiering because they like me being a cashier, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on edge. If I make one more mistake, I'm gonna get suspended. So I'm literally just being super careful behind the register. I think this last week I was ringing, I got literally 1 mistake, so I was like, okay, got 2 more, the week's almost over, just make it through the week. And then I hear them say that I got a mess up, and it was my second mess up, but that amount plus my other mess up equaled over $100, so that was it. That was another write-up. I told my supervisor who was giving me the slip to sign, I literally told her, this is gonna suspend me for 3 whole days and I'm not gonna be able to cashier for like 6 months. And she was like, going too fast or what? Honestly, I take full responsibility for my mistakes, like what's wrong with me, but like, why'd you have to say that? And honestly, the supervisors can really just throw away the slip if they really wanted to. Like, if you really cared about my well-being, you should have. Again, not blaming her, but you know. Anyways, so I knew that write-up was going to lead to my suspension, so I was like, when are they going to give it to me? Because it kept making me cashier, and like, I'm just like, well, why am I still cashiering when I know I'm going to be taken off the register and I'm going to be suspended? It was really like frustrating. But they waited literally a whole week to give me the write-up and suspend me, and then they told me that I'm not going to be able to cashier for 6 months, but after the 6 months is over, I can get my position back and start cashiering again. So at this point, I have 4 write-ups on my file, so I literally have to be so careful at work. I'm literally not cashiering, so I should be stress-free, right? Well, no. So you're allowed 3 tardies in a 30-day period, and one day I was late because I thought I worked at 12:30, but I did actually work at 12:15, so I was 15 minutes late, so that's one instance. But like, I'm never late, so I wasn't too worried about it. I was like, just don't be late again, like, it'll drop off in 30 days. But for some reason, traffic was really bad one day. I only live like 20 to 25 minutes away from work, but I left literally 45 minutes early one day and I still was late. And I was like, now I'm getting scared because that's my second late and you're only allowed 3 before the write-up.
I got fired from a work-from-home job that I've been working at for 3.5 years. Well, almost 3 years. Let me tell you the tea. So first of all, it was a job that I got after a car accident. So it meant a lot to me because like, It was one of them jobs where it was like an easy get into role where they just had you do one interview with like a big group of people and they just asked you if you wanted the job or not, and then they told us that they were going to send the equipment. So I was excited about that. But then it's just like the micromanagement was crazy. The people were crazy. The QA audits were crazy. But the money was good. They gave us a raise within 2 to 3 months of working with them. They gave us a $3 raise. We went from 15 an hour to 18. And I was like, hold on, I'm gonna have to stay here a while. But once I hit, I want to say my prime year, when I decided, hey, I want to hop on TikTok, I want to make more content, that's when everything went left. So once I started making TikToks about working from home, and I started doing more live streams and just showcasing my life a little bit more and showing people like, hey, this is what I really deal with, that's when things went left even more, because like the job didn't appreciate that, obviously. But it's just like my page started catching traction, and that's a good and a bad thing, because once that happened, it's like the job, I guess they got word of it, or somebody was stalking me on a burner profile. I don't know which one of the two it was, but it was literally the summer of 2024, y'all. I was like, I was in my prime. It was June 27th to be exact. I remember that day because that was the anniversary of the day that I got hired with them back in June of 2021. I got hired with them. And then June of 2024 was when they wanted to send y'all. I need to be serious because this is a very serious topic, but it's hard to be serious because now, like, the way my life has elevated since then. Anyway, let's talk about it. So June 27th of 2024, I remember I was 2 hours into my shift, and that's when things got weird. That's when they were just like, hey, there's an emergency meeting that we need you to come into. And I was like, huh? And mind you, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know. But they told me I needed to come into this emergency meeting for whatever weird reason. As soon as I got off the call with who I was on the call with, mind you, I was on the call with a nice person. They were an old person. They were telling me about their life. We were building rapport, right? We were building rapport while I'm resolving their issue. And I'm thinking the day is great. I'm like, oh, this is a great day. I'm following the metrics. What's going on? Why do we need to go into a meeting? And it was like a rude awakening once I had to actually get into that meeting and find out what they said. But y'all, I'm gonna have to do a part 2 of this because this video is already long enough as is. So if you want a part 2, let me know in the comments.
I got fired last week, and every time I tell people that, they're like, oh my god, fired. Would you too bad, girl? But like, it's really never that interesting. There's no tea. People are like jumping to conclusions. They were like, oh my god, were you like embezzling money for years? Like selling company secrets? I bet you were like sleeping with the enemies. And I'm like, no, it's really not. It's not that cool. Like the company was just having layoffs. And by layoffs, there was one and it was me. But I bet others are coming.
Let's do my lashes while I tell you why I got fired. I'm using the Falscara glue and the Falscara overnighter, and I just got these new You Cool Me lash clusters that are their secret ones. We're gonna try them out. So for those of you that don't know, I went to school for journalism. I got a journalism degree, and then I ended up going into logistics literally right after college, and then obviously popped off on social media, and then I did social media for about like a year and a half, full time, mind you. And honestly, I was doing great and I loved it, but I started to get a little bit scared because I was like in between being successful on social media and in between like getting past the gap year with the corporate world. And with the TikTok ban like looming, I was like, what if TikTok disappears and then I have nothing, like no backup plan or anything? And when I first started off on social media, I was doing my corporate 9 to 5 and social media at the same time, and it was pretty doable. So I thought, period, I could do the same. I went back to logistics, got my corporate 9 to 5 again, and I started to do both. This time around, it was not as easy. I fell behind on a lot of my postings. I honestly struggled with the idea if I made the right choice. Don't get me wrong, I loved my 9 to 5. It was a phenomenal job. At the same time, my heart just like wasn't in it. It became very evident that I had to make a choice on if I wanted to keep my 9 to 5 and give up social media, or do social media full time and give up my 9 to 5. Time really is money. It's not to say that you can't do both. You most definitely can. But I just wouldn't be able to invest as much time as I wanted to in social media. So back to why did I get fired? I think it became very clearly evident that my heart and passion was not in the job. And I think my manager very quickly realized that. Also, it didn't help that every single time I would show up to the office, I just felt like I didn't belong there. I'm a big believer in energy.
I feel like I radiated. I did not want to be their energy. But I will say, without my knowledge, they got together and decided that I should no longer be working there without telling me. But I also believe whatever's not meant for you will leave you, and whatever's meant for you will find you. And I feel like that job just wasn't meant for me. So they basically chalked it up to me like just not doing enough at my job, which is fine, whatever. I feel like it was for a couple other reasons, but I won't get into that. This is also your sign that if you've gotten fired, it's not that big of a deal, girl. It happens to everybody. Life is life. Your life isn't your job. You know what I mean? Like, there are some people out there that they make their life their job. I'm not one of those people. A job is a job. That doesn't mean don't do jack shit at your job and get fired. I'm just saying that if you do get fired, it's not the end of the world. There are people out here fighting cancer. There are people out here that lost limbs. There are people out here that don't have running water. Losing your job isn't the end of the world, babe. A job's a job and we'll find another one. I know the job market is trash too right now, which is another reason why it's like, damn, bitch, it's International Women's Day like on Saturday and you fired a woman, one of the only women on your team. That's neither here nor there. It's fine, love. We'll be okay. And if you feel embarrassed that you got fired, just know I got fired too, love. Here's the lashes. Have a good day. Love you.
So I just got fired from this job that I've been working my absolute butt off for the past almost 3 months. And the funny thing is, so I came in and it was a whole mess. There was mold. I mean, it was disgusting. And the fire inspector told me it should have been shut down. There were so many like issues. We didn't have a front desk worker. There was only like 3 members of the staff. The manager was like doing something weird with the system. Everything was weird, okay? So I go in and I start fixing it. And I become a manager. And then, you know, the contract comes for me to sign it to be a GM. And it was basically saying $35,000 a year, but they want me working 60-hour weeks. And they added like a ton of extra roles onto, and this is like a high-end place, a very high-end place. And so I basically told them, no, like I'm worth more than that, and kept going back and forth, back and forth. Yesterday I walk in, they hired a competitor, a manager for our competitor, the company that is against us, that our CEO hates, is now working for these owners and is going to fix the studio. And she talked to me, she pulls me aside and she goes, okay, well, I talked to the owners. They said you're a great salesperson. I was the top in the whole company in the beginning of the month, okay? Whole company. But you basically don't know how to manage anybody, which is okay because of how young you are. And I was like, no, I know what I'm doing. Like, I know what I'm doing. I was up on the roof checking the HVAC. Like, I know what the heck I'm doing. I've been fighting for staff, for front desk worker with mold, fire inspector, landlord with you. I had an assistant general manager walk out on me. I've been dealing with so much. I hit my head and got a concussion. I worked 107 hours and only 4 of those counted for overtime. I know what I'm doing. And they just fired me, saying that I do not know how to utilize time and that time is being wasted. But the best part is that the owners couldn't even do it themselves. They had this new girl from our competitor come in and fire me. And that's it. And they said, you can't come back. And I have gotten them over 120 clients in the past couple of months. And I'm done. Like, I'm not allowed to go back. And that was the reason, which is not true at all. And if you look at my numbers, I'm so angry. And it was because I asked them to give their employees $1 raise. Apparently that's me stirring the pot. So I'm not happy right now. And I told them that I wanted to meet with them in person. So that's going to happen. And we'll see how it goes because I'm bringing all of the numbers with me.
Hey y'all, so I'm bored, so let's straighten my hair and chat. Honestly y'all, I haven't straightened my hair and I think a good almost 2 months. It might be 2 months. Probably not 2 months, probably a month. But y'all don't eat me up in the, oh my god. Yeah, the last time I straightened my hair was with the extensions that I had. I threw them away though, so. And y'all, please don't eat me up because I don't have heat protectant, but I'm gonna use lotion. Okay, actually I lied. I'm gonna try to use like split and repair and biotone boost raw, leave-in, thicker and fuller. I don't know y'all, just let me put it in my hair real quick. Anyway, so let's talk about how I got fired from Five Below. So me and my girlfriend were working at Five Below. This was my first job. This was back in like probably like 2022 maybe. And we started working there, right? It was going really good. The only thing is the managers were already giving kind of like weird vibes, you know what I mean? Like they were very like, just like very, I don't know how to explain it, just very uptight about the job, you know? So me and Yako ended up being friends with this other couple named Evelyn and motherfucking snitch ass Edgar. Fucking bitch ass Evelyn. Fuck you, Evelyn. But anyway, so me, Evelyn, Yako, and Edgar, we all start getting close, right? Like, cause we were couples too, right? And we were always closing together. Like, it was always us closing for like, I think 2 weeks straight. And tell me why. We were all upset about how our boss Kimberly was treating us, right? Like, we were always upset about it. They would talk shit, we would talk shit. I should have known better though. Anyway, so there's this one night we had made a group chat, right? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I made the group chat, but everybody was talking shit. Like, I don't even know who was the first person to talk shit. Probably me. And so we're all talking shit about her. Evelyn's like, yeah, she's a bitch. I'm like, yeah, she's a fucking bitch. I said a fucking bitch, but Evelyn said a bitch. And then tell me why the one morning that Evelyn fucking works with our boss Kimberly, I see our messages. Y'all know how y'all could see when somebody likes y'all's message and then unlikes it? This was like 6 in the morning. Evelyn had to work with Kimberly at 6 in the morning. And I'm like, what the fuck? Maybe it was an accident. So then we get into work. Oh, and they called us in early. They're like, hey, can y'all come in early? We need y'all's help. So we come in early, right? Good spirits, probably like an hour or 2 into working. And then Stephanie's like being weird. This is our assistant manager. Kimberly was our main manager and Stephanie was the assistant, right? But Stephanie's like, hey, we need y'all in the office. I don't know what we were expecting, but so we get in there. I wonder, oh, I don't even have that phone no more. But anyway, so we get into Kimberly's office, right? Dude, oh my God. So we get into Kimberly's office, right? So she's like, to me and Yako, she's like, so do y'all have anything to say or want to say anything off of y'all's chest? Me being a dumbass bitch because we don't know what the fuck she's talking about. I'm like, no. I look at Yako, I'm like, you have anything to say? She's like, no. She was like, well, I heard y'all were talking about me. She was like, so y'all don't, no. She didn't say that first. She was like, so y'all don't think I'm a bitch? I said, because they were very upfront with everything, like, you know. But she's like, so y'all don't think I'm a bitch? I said, no. And then she was like, well, I saw you and Evelyn and Edgar and Yako's group chat. I said, ooh. And what's it called? She was like, I think we're just gonna let y'all go. And I'm like, oh my fuck, what the fuck? So then, what's it called? We're all upset, right? But then they're being fucking weird. They're like, y'all can finish working though. Bitch, why? Because y'all don't have nobody else to come in? Like, so then she's like, actually, like, we were in there for like an hour or 2, y'all. Excuse me. Ooh. Okay, y'all, so after all of that, tell me why. She was like, actually, I think I'm gonna keep y'all. So then we go back out, right? And we had this other, like, there's like 3 managers. She was the next assistant manager. And her name was fucking O. Literally just O. Like, literally O. And, she's like, what happened? So we tell her what happens. Not even 5 minutes later, fucking Kimberly calls. And she's like, she calls Yako. She's like, I told you not to say anything. Y'all, she did not fucking tell us not to say anything, y'all. I swear on my grandma, y'all, that she did not tell us not to say anything. And she's like, I told y'all not to say anything. So she fires Yako. Like, what the fuck? So, what's it called? I'm like, what the fuck? So, what's it called? Yako waits for me because it was about time I already was getting off too. So, we're walking home, right? I'm like, what the fuck? So, it's the next day, right? Kimberly goes up to me. She's like, hey, I don't want to talk about what happened with Yako, right? So, We'll just leave it be. She comes up to me an hour later. She goes, you know why I fired her, right? Girl, you just said we're not talking about it. And mind y'all, she had a fucking stepson working there. He did not fucking do shit. Oh my God, he would not do shit. Just sit there with his fucking dumbass AirPods on. Just literally so oblivious of what to do. Like literally you would tell him what to do, he'd be like, huh? Like, dude, what are you doing? She's like, Poppy, don't do that, Poppy. Poppy, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. She's like, oh, and then in the office she was like, and I heard that y'all think that Daniel doesn't work, her stepson. And I was like, cause he doesn't. Cause bitch, we be working so hard and he sits there when we were fucking busy, not doing a motherfucking thing, just sitting there on his goddamn fucking phone asking what the fuck to do after I already told him what the fuck to do. So, what's it called? So she's over here being messy right after she just said we're not gonna talk about the situation. I'm like, bitch, you just said, did you not just, you know? So, what's it called? She's over here trying to be buddy-buddy with me, but that's my boss. So, you know, I was obviously gonna kiss her ass a little bit. So then she literally just comes up to me. She was like, this is gonna be your last day. Bitch, no explanation whatsoever now that I'm thinking about it. But she's like, yeah, this is gonna be your last day. I will put you as a rehire, but yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay. So then, she fires me, right? Me and Yako don't go back for months. Probably like 6 months, y'all. Tell me why we go there and they're like, Yako, Sierra, hey guys, hey. Bitch, don't say hey to me. The last time we talked, bitch, you were being rude as fuck. Mad fucking rude. And then Stephanie fucking cut her ugly ass bob. And she's all like, hey Sierra. She's like, bro, Yako and me literally ran away. She's like, why are you running away? Bitch, because I don't want to talk to you. Why else do you think I fucking ran away? Like, you're fucking rude as fuck. Tell me why Evelyn and fucking Edgar are still working there. And then her bitch ass son is still working there doing this now. Not even saying hi to the customers. Bitch, you told me I was one of the best fucking workers in your store. Literally, I was the loudest one in the store. Hi, welcome to Five Below. Like, do you want to get a tote bag for 50 cents each or for $1? Like, bitch, I was literally up there. You know what I mean? And they're literally just trying to act like nothing happened. Like, do you not get what I'm trying? Like, she thought we were cool. You know what I mean? So I'm like, ew, you know? Cause like, girl, all that and you're over here trying to be nice, you know? Like, so yeah, I have more stories, but I don't have enough time, so I'm gonna post this. Comment if y'all want more story time because I'm still doing my hair.